Thanks for tuning in to Pop Austin Media, your source for Austin entertainment. We have the talented Grace. How's life in 2021?
Pretty good. Lots of new things, learning new things, doing new things. So yeah, it's cool.
Adapting to madness?
Yes, always. You know.
It's crazy that we're still in madness, though.
I know. I know.
It's like, 19 hit, late 19, then it was 20, 21. Now it's about to be 22.
I graduated high school like totally online. It was so sad.
Wow, did you graduate this year?
May.
In May?
Yep.
Okay, so all right, let's bring back this a little bit. So let's start. Where are you originally from?
I was born and raised in the same house in Round Rock, Texas, and then just now moved out with my sister. So.
Oh, okay. So you're basically Austin,
Yes.
born and raised.
Austin, my whole life. Yep.
So Austin's probably one of those cities to where it's like so many different people coming from like different areas. It's like
Totally.
nowadays when I ask people that, I'm expecting like California, New York,
Yeah.
maybe just
That's true.
other random towns.
Yep.
And then someone explained this to me. It was kind of like this is like a town turning into a city, kind of like right before our
Totally.
eyes. So it's kind of crazy.
It is for sure.
So you grew up in the same house, you didn't even move out of it.
Nope.
How was it like staying in the same house? Like how was your childhood?
It was good. I have very supportive parents. Of course, there's family drama that happened all the time, but it made us very tight knit, and it was really just the five of us, my two sisters, my parents. So we were very, very close, and growing up in the same house, of course, there was a lot of like challenges we faced with that. Like people growing, my sisters moving out when they went to college and things like that. So we just were very adaptable, but it was cool. Like no complaints.
So you say sisters, how many?
Two.
So two. So there's three of y'all together.
Yes.
You don't have any brothers?
No, unfortunately. I always wanted an older brother, but I'm the baby, and so I always wanted like a little sibling of any kind, but it just wasn't meant to be. So
It's crazy staying in the same house. I can only imagine that. I moved so many
know.
different times, and then like when we finally got the big house when I was in high school, we were turning on the stove. We were
Literally.
just starting stuff, just turning on lights, going upstairs. It was crazy. We just like so staying in the same house. That's pretty dope. So you don't have to like. We always had to adapt to something new and new and new.
And it's honestly interesting because like I really do like change. Like change is like never something that I'm afraid of. So being in a situation like that, or in any situation where I'm like staying somewhere for too long, I get really like anxious. So I was always going with my friends to Houston, anywhere I could go. Like if they were going to a dance convention somewhere, I'd be like, "Ooh, can I go?" Or like trying to travel as much as I could. Like of course with low money, funds were low, but we did the best that we could, and traveling as much as I could just to get out of the house and hang out with friends a lot and do what I love. So.
Oh, that's what we got this big old house, and it was like empty, but
Yeah, right.
it was just part of doing just adjusting and adapting to new things because we were just used to apartments, and then
Right.
so like I said,
That's cool.
It's interesting. Scoot up just a little bit to the
Gotcha.
mic. So what kind of child were you? Were you artsy?
I was
were you
a terrible kid. I was such a bad kid. I went to like this private kindergarten, and then I went back to public school for like the rest of my life. But that kindergarten I was at was I was a very bad kid. I was in the principal's office like all the time. I don't really know why I was like that. I was always yelling at the other kids and like bullying people, and I would like throw things. I don't know what, because I'm not like that at all. So I don't really know what she was going through, but that was me as a kid. But
Okay.
I was very eccentric. I was very loud. I always like would watch like TV shows and like perform them for my parents like while it was going on. So I was like always very like artistically inclined, but never really knew exactly what I wanted to do.
So you were more like it's more just you're a star. You're like, hey, look at me. Look at what
I was just
y'all
an
always
attention
gotta
whore.
look at me.
I don't-
Exactly.
It was really just, I don't know why I was like that, but it was what it was.
Okay, and then so you said you graduated online, which is interesting in itself. I can only imagine that. Where'd you graduate from?
Round Rock High School.
So Round Rock High School.
Yep.
Okay. How was it graduating with like? Was it the last year that you did virtually, or was it a year and a half?
Yeah, I went to like a private art school for 2 years in the middle of high school, and then middle of junior year, I went back to Round Rock because that school was just not it. So I went back to public school, and that was about like 2 months in, COVID hit, and everybody went online. So I was like, what? So I like never really got the chance to like build a strong like public school friend group, which wasn't, you know, terrible, but it was a little bit lonely going into senior year completely online, because we didn't get to like do any of those like in-person classes or get to meet the teachers, which is something that I like to do. So I don't know, it was definitely a challenge, but I was still grateful because I know that class of 2020 didn't get to walk the stage, but we did. So that was the one thing that I was like very grateful for. I was really happy to be able to like put on the robe or the gown, whatever.
Yeah, that's gotta be interesting because it's like they're just, hey, we're gonna mail you this, so here you go, you're done.
Like, I know. I was like, what is it? I still haven't picked up my diploma.
Oh, for real?
I still haven't. I forgot. I just forgot. I put it off, and I still haven't picked it up. Sorry.
It's kind of weird, though. It's like, you know, when do I come pick it up? It's virtual. Just mail it to me.
Literally, I was like, can y'all just, like, email it, and I'll print it out?
Or, yeah, or at least mail it, because they want that official one.
I know.
They want that first official
one. And I don't want to have to, like, walk into that school and be like, hey.
Oh, exactly. Then it's lame. It's lame. Now you're like, I'm walking in here. I got you.
Yeah.
So, like, I just missed the social media era. I might have, like, caught just, like, right when... Man, I'm gonna date myself. When like MySpace like started like like towards like right at the beginning. Yeah. How is it going to high school and I guess school in general with like the social media era? Like,
it's different. I've never really been one that's like very like, I don't really like social media for like a lot of reasons. But I do think that it is a great outlet to showcase what you're doing and to reach an audience that's more curated to what you do, not just like, I don't know, trying to make your school friends understand what you're doing with your life. So I do like it for that reason. But going to high school with that, there's definitely a lot of, I don't even know, there's like a layer underneath actual society that's social media. So it's like people will, you know, make fake profiles of people. Or there was even like dragging accounts for like students at our school, and they would like talk, or like they had one where they were like, who's gay at our school, and they would like put like sus people, and I was like, what are y'all doing? Like, I never understood it. But I don't know, like people are just very bold because it's a lot easier to like say things that you wouldn't say to someone's face on social media. So I remember there was a lot of like drama that like girls would have about like, I don't know, their boyfriends or something. But you know, I don't know. It's definitely wild. It's a different world.
Yeah, I can only imagine because, like I said, I started was just like, man, with all this, and then more and more and more things are out there. You got TikTok, then you got, you know, Snapchat, and then Instagram has its stores, and it's just so many different things. It's just like it's all connected, and like you said, people can just fake it. They can fake it all around.
Totally.
It's like you don't know it's like the lines are blurred now.
Totally.
And it's hard to figure it out. So that's what I was just really curious about.
Yeah.
I got a goofy question. What table did you sit at when you were in?
None. Oh my God.
You didn't sit at none of the tables? Not the jocks? Not the chess club? The golf?
No, literally none.
Not the mixed, like the mixed bag?
You know how I said like I never got to like create that like friend group at school?
Uh-huh.
I was like such a little, I don't know, I was kind of on my own, but I was like friends.
Outcast?
I was cool with everybody.
A cool outcast though.
Yeah,
like
I guess,
you do, like ride your own beat kind of.
Yeah, like I was friends with a lot of people, and I still am. Like I'm cool with pretty much most people, or like that was at the school, and you know, I'd see people in the hallway and I'd be like, hey, what's up? It was kind of that, but you know, I wasn't really like tight with anyone. So I would have those couple people who I'm still really grateful for. Like I had this one girl when I first got back to Round Rock that like took me in and was like, I'm gonna keep you from being like alone all the time. And that was dope. You know, there was a couple of those that really helped my like high school or like even middle school experience better, because I've always kind of been like that even since middle school. So I went through a period where I would like eat lunch in the library, like it was like so emo. I was like, what is going on? But it was cool. You know, I would sit there and like doodle and have my piece. But
the lone wolf, Grace, the lone wolf.
A little bit.
But I mean, it that's not a bad thing though. I mean, it's like, because sometimes a lot of stuff going on. It's just like you can focus on yourself. That's like the best thing to do.
Yeah.
So like, how does it feel being like newly out of high school and like trying to find your way in life? of course, you don't just graduate and you're like, oh,
yeah,
I'm grown. I'm I got to figure. Of course, it's like, I got to figure stuff out a little before that, really. But it's like, how is it like now that it's like, okay, I'm grown. I have to do grown things. And then you said you moved out of the house that you lived in for ever, basically.
Yes.
And so, like, how is that? So now you're adapting to something new finally, which is something that you'd like to do. So, like, kind of explain that.
Well, I mean, I was going to go to college, and I applied, of course, because I had this really cool college mentor, Anjali. She's, like, my lifesaver. She's a really cool, really wonderful woman. So she was really pushing the college because she's a college counselor. But as we got closer to my graduating date, it was like, do I really need to go? And I also made the decision to only apply to out-of-state schools just because I knew I didn't want to stay in Texas at the time. And so I only applied to like NYU, USC, Cal Arts, and Columbia, Chicago. And so those schools were like my go-tos, and I was just kind of going to see who accepted and then if I wanted to still go. So I decided closer to my graduation date that I was possibly going to go to Cal Arts, and I still really like that school. But it just kind of proved itself once I graduated that it would be kind of stupid if I left, because I started growing this really good hub of like family here for music, and I was being logical, and I was like, if I move to like LA right now to go to school, I know there would be like a whole new group, but it's like these are people that have like the same mindset, the same skills. So I decided to stay here and, do as much as I can. And when I feel the need to move somewhere, I'll go there. But I don't want to like, I don't know, expect to fit in somewhere. You know what I mean? But other than that, moving out is great. Like I said, I love change. So it was dope. My sister and I are so tight. She's like my best friend. So that's really fun. I've basically just been doing a lot of music, a lot of dancing still, doing an online NYU music business certification just to have. And I have some couple things I'm planning to start doing for work and stuff like that. So it's fun.
And that's the biggest thing. Like a lot of the places, like even though it's maybe not happening now, like as much as you see, but when you look at like Atlanta's like the best kind of one to point out, to where like you have all these people that work together, and it's like it's not like it's not like cornered off or anything. It's not like, I don't know, I'm not even gonna say it feels like competition in a sense, because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of really competition out that's like really doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot, when I'm saying a lot, and like Atlanta, like the Jermaine Dupri's, like he lived down the street from Left Eye, you know, and then you had all these people working together. Like, wow, these people all work together. You know, you go back and you think of like, and I'm just throwing off the top of my head just because there's some rappers. I know there's more other things, but you had like Jay-Z, Biggie, and Busta at the same school. So it's just, and then they work together, and it's just like you can help spread that.
Yes, and it's like I have this opportunity to be a part of something greater in the Austin area. Like we don't really have a R&B or like soul hip hop outlet here. Usually it's usually more folk, country,
and then rap stuff, here, and a lot of rappers.
So, but I was thinking like, I don't know, I want to be a part of this with these artists that are like so talented. Like the people that I'm around are like so inspiring and like so committed, and I wouldn't really want to be anywhere else. So if we follow each other somewhere, like let's do that. But I don't know, I think it's really cool to like represent where I come from and represent Austin as an R&B artist and stuff like that.
And that's my favorite genre, actually, R&B. I'm not even lying just because you're on here. Like, I love R&B. So, like, dope. When I hear good R&B, I'm like, oh, thank you.
Right.
Some good R&B. Because it's like, they're saying it's the dying genre.
I know. That makes me so sad.
Which is, if you can do it right, it's like, there's a lane for that. So, it's like, it's always good,
I'll put you on to some cool Austin artists.
Oh, okay. And I'll definitely listen to your stuff, though. Like, I listen,
dope.
And we'll get into your singles here. In a little bit, but let's go to your style. I sense, and I could be wrong, I sense more like a TLC, old schoolish, but like the new school, like a Billie Eilish, what she was doing like a year back. Just kind of switched her style up a little bit. What inspires your look? Like what do you like reach from whenever you?
Honestly, a lot of it comes from like classics. So like I really do pull from a lot of like Aaliyah stuff and like you mean like physical look image.
Well, I mean, well, yeah, you just your clothes.
Got you.
Yeah, style.
So yeah, Aaliyah is a huge inspiration, and even just like I don't know, more like Chicana styles and stuff like that. Like that's where the hoops come from, and you know, other little tops that I'll wear, like the button downs with like the necklace coming through.
Mm-hmm.
That's where most of those are inspired from. But I don't know, a lot of it is just what feels good, and you know, I really like fashion, and I like pairing certain colors together, and I want to get better at it, but it's like it costs a little bit to, you know, get into that much fashion, but I definitely love it. So those are my.
Do you have like a go-to brand? If you had to pick one, like if like this is my stuff right here.
Maybe Dickies. They always fit right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I like a lot of like Nike shoes. I don't know. I guess that's it. I don't really have other. If it looks good, it looks good. You know.
No, yeah, exactly.
Walmart.
Something like a lot of times how you finesse it and how you rock
it.
Because then a lot of times you can wear like what is it, Supreme and all that stuff and look trash.
Yes,
some people look trash. You're like, man,
like,
you looking
can't
trash
like
with
Supreme socks and like think you look good. I'm like.
Exactly.
Let's work on this.
So what? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and ask it.
Uh-huh.
What's the dating scene like being 18? So you're 18 or 19?
18.
Okay, so what's the dating scene being like 18?
It's really not ever dating. It's just like situationships on situationships.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, 18-year-old men are not it. Sorry. Some are. I'm sure there's really great 18-year-old men out there. But the ones that I have encountered in a dating sense, it's kind of a new, and I think this is also coming from like social media stuff. I don't know. There's not really like the let me take you on a date first anymore. There's like let me take you to my room first. And personally, I don't know. I like to see you in a public area to see like how you behave before anything else, you know. So I don't know. It's interesting. But I'm not really looking for that right now. I'm just more kind of doing my thing. And if something comes my way, then I'll either say yes or no and then see where that goes. So,
for sure. And I can only imagine, too, with social media and then, like, the floodedness. It's like DMs on DMs. That's crazy.
Usually it's the let's link and smoke or it's let's collab.
Let's smoke. And I'm like, that's the first one. Let's smoke.
I'm like, get out. Get a new line. Get a new line.
That's the.
It's so bad. Man. It's so bad.
You'd be surprised how much that works, though.
Yes, I know. But not for me. Not for me.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying you'd be surprised, like with the number, you're like that actually works.
I know, right?
I'm gonna go ask. So, what's the? I guess you kind of listen. What's the number one pet peeve, like in a man?
Man. I don't know.
It don't have to be number one, but if you can think off the top of your head, you're like, oh my, that just, I can't stand that.
I really don't like disrespectful people. Like, if we're in public, or like if you like run into my sister at my house and you like don't talk to her, like you don't even say hi to her. I don't know. It's like even when I was in high school, like if a guy came over and he like would ignore my parents, I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's the subtle type of.
Yeah, or like if you're in public and they're like treating the waiter weird, I'm like, what are you doing?
I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
One, you put me at jeopardy because now that's my food.
Yeah, exactly.
that was like, hold on, before you talk, man,
exactly.
let me get my food
Literally,
first.
I'm like,
then you can say what you're
gonna do. Then you can act whack. Okay.
Now I'm over here begging and pleading, like, no, please.
Yes.
Giving them the look.
Yes.
And then I'm just like, man, I hope I'm like combing through my food to see. Yep. That's actually mine.
Yeah.
You can tell a lot about a person how they treat a waiter.
Yep, absolutely.
Actually, it's like that's a good interview for somebody. Like if you're just trying to figure out what type of person they are.
Mm-hmm. Exactly what I said. I like to go outside with someone instead, because then they can show you whatever they want if you're like in their space. But if you like go somewhere,
they're gonna show you.
You see what they wear, you see how they walk, see how they interact with other people. It's just like I'm slowly taking notes the whole time.
Exactly.
This goes for like really anyone that I'm trying to like talk to in that way. But yeah.
All right, who's your favorite artist in Austin? If you just can think of somebody, and you're not gonna slid. This ain't no shade to nobody. If you just off the top of your head, you're like, oh, I like this person.
It always comes to my head. It's Black Odyssey for sure. He's. I talk about him in like every interview I do. He's just like literally. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, he's going to be the next like Hollywood Walk of Fame star. Such a talented guy. Like, he has a brain that's like on another tier. He also works with some other dope awesome musicians like Moody Banks and Harry. There's a huge group of like dope people. And those are people that I listen to all the time. So it's just like really cool to know those people personally. And also love their music sincerely. Same thing with like Abigail Cernal. I don't know, there's a lot that I could name, but I don't want to like get into it because I'll keep going for like 3 hours.
K-pop is on the rise. I don't know if you know. Do you have any? Do you listen to any of that? Do you have any K-pop artists?
Not really. I've never gotten into that stuff. I respect it. I very much respect it, but it's not really like what I listen to usually.
I can understand that. They got some that have like R&B too. They have like an R&B section of not K-pop, like but it's like K-R. I forgot what they call it, but they have some stuff. They have all of that.
That's cool.
You gotta look into it. They're doing stuff really good on a production level.
Cool.
That a lot of things are missing out here. So then you can kind of It's like it's what's needed more out in America. They brought it back to old school.
Gotcha.
So it's more fun to watch like what they're doing opposed to like the music. It can be give or take. The music's still good. They have great music. BTS, one of the biggest artists out. So definitely look at it. It's good things to draw from.
Dope.
Real quick, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I really hope that I really want to do a tour of the world one day. I really feel like I want to be doing lots of interviews with like Genius and like a Jimmy Fallon show. Jimmy Kimmel, all the Jimmys.
Yeah, all the Jimmys.
I don't know. I kind of just I'm ready for whatever, but in my head I know what I want. So I just will manifest that on my own.
All right. Upcoming projects?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I have my first EP coming out in December, and I'm very, very excited for it. It's I'm actually very proud of it, which is new for me to say because I usually like am kind of like, dang, I don't really like it, and then I'll put it out. But I actually really love it, and there's a lot of variety in the sound in it, and a lot of cool people that produced it with me. So yeah, I'm very excited.
You got a date or no? Just kind of still TBA?
Not yet, yeah.
But
there's going to be a video that comes out with it and everything, so.
Okay, you got to get the rollout right.
I try.
Definitely.
I'm like, I'm so bad at like self-promo. Like, I'll put like one thing and be like, hey, listen, and then I'll never talk about it
That's
again.
When the manager and the team come in and involve. You have to do it.
People are like, Grace, you released a song, and I'm like, oh yeah. And
they're
like, why don't you post about it?
It's not fun. No, it's not. It's the worst part. Nobody wants to sit there and just you have to though. It's literally like have to.
You're right.
It's like 75% of it. Maybe 85.
Right, I know.
Like literally.
Damn.
Well, it was great having you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Everybody check out Grace's music. Where can we find you? And I'm gonna let you end it. If you need to shout out anybody, if you have any plugs you want to drop, anything.
Got you.
Do your thing. I'll let you take it home.
Basically, you can find me on anything, all streaming platforms at Grace Sorensen. My Instagram is at RealGraces. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Shout out to all other musicians, other artists. I love you. And that's all. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. Signing off.